Well, hello and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And let me see if I can get my ticker tape going. Okay, I got my ticker tape going. All right. There's something, a banner that I'm trying to get out of the way here. Okay, there we go. All right. Hi, y'all see me now, right? Okay, great. All right then. So it's another week, another Thursday, and another Pearls Politics Live. So what's the word, Thunderbird? Well, we have a lot to tell you that's going on tonight. We won't keep you long. We just got we just we're just gonna run through some local politics news, and we're gonna hit on international as well as national. So, but believe it or not, um, we're just gonna do it in as short a time as possible. All right. So let me bring in my sidekick, the heartbeat of the South, every beat of my heart, and my right hand for tonight, my son, Tim Harrington. Hi, Tim.
Hey, Mom, how's everybody doing?
Oh, well, I'm hanging in here. I tell you, I've been really busy.
Yeah.
Just doing some things, personal things, doing some show things, and for
Uh huh.
shows that we got coming up and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
But everything is fine.
Great,
I
great,
can't
great,
complain. I
great.
can't complain. All right.
All right.
All right. So we'll give everybody a minute to come in, a minute or so coming. They will be joining us pretty shortly, I'm sure. So I want to talk about local first of all, locally.
Okay.
What's going on right here in Tennessee? Well, hi, we got somebody popped in now. We got 18 of you that have joined us so far. Let's put it in the um on the banner so everybody can see that we are not alone.
Yeah.
that's a that's a line for our paranormal show, right? We are
Yeah.
not alone.
Yeah.
But anyhow, locally here, well, actually, this is really national as well as local in my area, local in your area, everybody as well. Okay, because here's what's going on. Y'all know the favorite store that really have helped people out down through the years, Dollar General, right?
Yes.
Not Dollar General, Dollar Tree,
Yes.
where everything was a dollar, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, hi Jack, how you doing? Good to
So,
see you
Jack.
there. All right. Look, tomorrow night, tell Thomas he better wake up. Y'all call him and wake him up. We be having his birthday, uh, part of the show for him, and we need him here. Okay, uh, it'll be pretty bad if you have to watch the replay and he's we're doing the birthday show for him. Okay,
Yeah.
all right then. So anyhow, yeah, and then tomorrow, hey Rowan, that's Rowan, and so yeah, I've got everything ready for Thomas's
Hey,
birthday
Rowan.
for tomorrow. Okay, and so tell him to be here or be square. All right. Um, and so locally, near me and near you. I don't know about the UK, but I'm talking about the Dollar Tree store where everything used to be a dollar. Then they went up to $1.25. Well, they are closing them nationwide. They are
What?
yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. All I'm gonna say is he in bed and hop on Discord. Cause you in bed. Oh, okay. And I
That's my favorite. That's
finger
my
crossed.
favorite shopping spot.
Yeah, they gonna close down 3,000, and they don't have any word on which ones and which cities and states they're gonna shut down. But this is their second quarter of them losing money.
Really?
Economy. Yeah, well, they went up to $1.25. They were trying to cover their costs of their loss, but hey, it just people just really couldn't afford. Some people just couldn't afford $1.25, right? And so, so
Well, me being a regular, most of the people I always see it busy though.
well,
I
I don't know, but they said they've lost money 2 quarters in a row. And when they say 2 quarters in a row, that means
6 months.
that means the 6 months of the last 4 months of last year.
Uh-huh.
And that's almost the third, well, the last 3 months of last year, and now the 3 months of this year, because this is March. This is the another quarter, you see.
Quarter, yeah.
Yeah. So they have been losing money, and they're gonna close 3,000 stores. So
Man, that
um,
sucks.
I can't give you my thoughts tonight, uh, Jack. Did y'all win money? Where's my cut? I know y'all want some money. Y'all just send me on gift card, Amazon gift card, or anything, because I know that y'all won off of my tips. Uh, you lost your bet. Oh, well, I don't know. I didn't follow it, so I don't know. I'm sorry if you lost. Okay, so yeah, Tim, they're closing your Dollar Tree.
Man, that's my go-to store too.
That's a go-to store.
Yeah. Well, we
Mm,
got three. I have three that's close by.
mm-hmm.
So hopefully it won't be all three shutting down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jack is talking racing. He says he's gonna put another bet on horse racing tomorrow. And then he say 98% of gamblers quit before the big win. You know what? I've seen a lot of that do that keep thinking that but the problem is, Jack, is when they do get the big win, they still don't
I
stop.
bet.
They
Yep.
they lose all the big win back. So
Yep.
don't fall into that category. All right, so locally, that's what's going on. Well, actually, that's national. It tips off over into national news.
Right.
Um, and also, but for the state of Tennessee, um, thank you. We're up to 80. Was up. I've got 70 posted here. I was putting that in Pearl's Politics show there. I'll show it on either one. It doesn't matter. Thank you for the 80 of you that's coming in now. Um, that was 70 right there. Okay. All right. Now, Tennessee, Tim, you're not going to like this.
Okay.
There's a senator that put a bill on the floor of the Tennessee state legislature to reverse
Uh-huh.
the po- the newest police safety ordinance that was passed in recognition of the Tyree Nichols beating that prevents policemen from just stopping people over pretextual, they call it, for a broken tail light, just pulling people over for expired tags and that sort of thing. So this particular senator that doesn't even live in Shelby County now, he wants to take it off the books and let it go back to the way it was, where cops can pull you over for anything they want to, or if they just have the inkling to pull you over. What do you think?
Mm. That knife cuts both ways. I given the state of our city, I would agree with it. Uh, Most of the percentage of your criminals are more active at night, and they're usually one or more of them in a vehicle. Um, if I had to guess, I would say probably 50%, if not more, of our crimes are at nighttime. So I would be in agreement with that. If you'd have asked me that 20 years ago, I would have been against it. But now that I'm older now,
Yeah,
I would have to agree. I would agree with him.
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
still understand. Okay.
right. Because if they never pull them over, they can't catch them. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean?
Yeah, you're right about that. Um, well, yeah, I do. I understand that. And so you're saying that the criminals probably will have the broken tail lights
Yes.
or the expired tags.
Yes. Uh, yes. Because the
Um,
criminals that need to be really caught are they are traveling in vehicles. It's usually
Most of the
more than
time, though, they're traveling in vehicles that's stolen, that's got
yeah.
uh,
That's true.
accurate tags, and the tail lights are not broken.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. But I would have to be it since the crime is so high. I would have to be in agreement with it.
All right,
Um,
all
an
right.
ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. Well, I guess it does. Some want it, some don't. Some
Yeah.
like it, some don't. All right. Well, look, let's switch on over to national news.
Okay.
All right. So, uh, politics, elections. Trump
Yes.
got a favor from a judge in um the Georgia, Atlanta, in the Georgia case.
I have that piece too.
All right. Well, let's watch this video here,
Okay.
and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Today, a Fulton County judge dropped 3 counts against Donald Trump. Atlanta News First political reporter Doug Reardon live tonight outside the Fulton County Courthouse for us. So, Doug, these new developments actually clear the way for Trump to possibly get indicted again.
Attorney Fani Willis 6 months to re-indict those 6 charges that he said were too vague to be included in this version of the indictment. They all have to do with conversations Trump and his co-defendants had or tried to have with Georgia officials, including that now infamous phone call at the center of it all.
All I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes.
After the 2020 election, conversations Trump and his co-defendants had with Georgia officials, including that phone call to Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, became the basis for the Fulton County election indictment. But on Wednesday, Fulton County Judge Scott McAfee decided 6 solicitation charges in the indictment were simply written too vaguely and dropped them from the case.
I think the judge got it right. You have to give enough specificity.
Attorney Surichata Jimenez says the charges only claim that Trump and others pressured officials and lawmakers to violate their oaths of office under the U.S. and Georgia Constitution.
What is that? I have no idea what is that. That is akin to me telling me you are going to trial because you broke the law. Which law? Tell me what I did.
In his 9-page ruling, McAfee says the vagueness could be a risk to defendants like Trump. He writes of the charges, quote, "They do not give the defendants enough information to prepare their defenses intelligently, as the defendants could have violated the Constitution in dozens, if not hundreds, of distinct ways."
What you need to say is you need to say what part of the Constitution was alleged to have been violated so we can focus on that.
Also on Wednesday, Governor Brian Kemp signed a bill into law that would put more oversight on Georgia prosecutors. It took almost 2 years to make it to his desk, and the bill's sponsors claimed it was not meant to be a method to remove DA Fani Willis from office.
Well, Fani Willis is not unlike any of the rest of us. When she does her job as she sees fit, and certainly sometimes there can always be questions.
And now this ruling was months in the making, and attorneys for some of these co-defendants had asked McAfee to rule on these specific charges way back when this first started. And oh, by the way, this probably won't be the biggest decision that he makes this week. By sometime by the end of Friday, McAfee will come to us with a decision on whether or not to remove District Attorney Fani Willis from this case altogether over her relationship with the top prosecutor in the indictment. So we'll have that for you at some point between now and the weekend. But for now, I'm Doug Reardon, live from outside the Fulton County Courthouse.
All right then. You heard that, huh?
Yeah. Let me clear something up for people that's not aware of the full background of this. That prosecutor, the special prosecutor, which is the one that Fani Willis is accused of having inappropriate relations with. Now, this guy has never in his entire law career even handled a felony charge. Right? You say, why is that important? Because you're talking about a RICO. A RICO is one of the hardest cases to even to go to trial on, because it is so many moving parts that are involved in that. Now, it's a total of 41 charges, right? So let's take away the 6 that they just dropped. But this prosecutor is the lead prosecutor. So it's like you trying to, let me put it in layman terms. It's like going straight from kindergarten to college. It's just not.
That's funny. That's
It's just not possible to be done. And what they're going to find, and what this judge is going to find, which he's already found because he's going to render his decision tomorrow, is that those type of errors are going to be throughout the whole complainant charges, because he doesn't have the experience. He was only appointed due to the favoritism that was given to him by Fani Willis, and it's going to be a laughing stock. Yeah.
I understand, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. You can't just come out of the gate when you've been what do they call them, legal aid attorney. When you've been a legal aid attorney, you can't go and file no big prosecution
That's right.
case.
That's right.
You got to have experience in filing. You got to know how to word it, and that's like the attorney that was in the interview. He was saying,
right,
you can't just have an ambiguous charge. The charge has to specify precisely what part of the Constitution did you violate and how you did it. You can't just say, well, you violated the Third Amendment of the Constitution. Well, really, how?
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah. And any lawyer will tell you, the RICO acts are the hardest to prosecute because it's so technical. It's so many moving parts of that's involved. And this guy here, he was way out of his league from the beginning, and it's just going to show. It's just going to show in the work, and we'll find it out tomorrow by the end of business.
Yeah, it's like in NASA. NASA spends I don't know how many hours getting those spacecraft exactly right.
Yeah.
Before they send it up a million miles away,
Right.
And it's like he trying to send a go-kart to space.
Yeah.
It just don't work that way in the law.
No,
it takes an experienced attorney.
Yeah, he's not, right, and he's not seasoned at all.
Nah, and that infamous phone call was really the center of his opponents.
Yes.
And people that didn't like him and people that wanted him out. That was the whole center of them filing all of these lawsuits one after another.
Absolutely. And you know what else? One thing about a RICO case, you don't get a second bite at the apple. What they filed and what they're accusing.
Well, he's saying here now they're saying that the judge is giving her 6 months to refile.
Well, here's the thing: we don't know what the outcome is going to be Friday because they may be off the case altogether. due to the fact that him
You're
and
right.
her were having relations.
You're
So
right.
that's what everybody is really waiting
Waiting
on.
on.
Yeah, to see.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
that if they lose,
Yes.
if she's taken off,
Mhm.
then it would be Fulton County's uh responsibility to find somebody else if they want to refile.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty
Mhm.
much. Uh-huh.
Hi, Sandra. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, so I mean that's the real meat and potatoes that everybody is anxious to see tomorrow. Because
All
if you
right.
if you even if you didn't follow the trial,
Mhm.
everybody heard about it because it
Oh
was
yeah.
viral.
Oh yeah.
We should know by the end of business tomorrow.
Well, you let me know. Send me a text.
Absolutely.
All right, love. All right. So look, let's go to now and watch another video.
Okay.
We finna go. This is still national. All right.
Okay.
And first, I'm going to show Chuck Schumer, the minority leader of the Senate now for Democrats, right?
Okay.
So they were holding this meeting. First of all, there's a rift between Biden and Netanyahu.
Okay.
Because when Biden mentioned on, I don't know if it was in the State of the Union address or when he said that he's going to have a come to Jesus talk with Netanyahu, or was it in his press conference after the State of the Union address? But anyway, he said that and it fired Netanyahu up. Okay. Baby got fired up and he made comments back. So I guess we should watch this first.
Okay.
On this. But this is twofold. Well, I'm gonna show. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna show this one first, but it's I want to show it for two reasons. Number one, I want to show it about how fired up a Netanyahu got. I think it's in here.
Okay.
The other reason I want to show it is because if you recall last week, I told you that Israel's news channels and all of his groupies talk about President Biden in the United States really bad behind their back. Listen to this.
A senior Israeli official firing back at the U.S. after its intelligence report warned the Israeli prime minister's government, quote, may be in jeopardy. The war between Israel and Hamas, which began when the terror group attacked Israel on October 7th, is now on day 159 with no ceasefire or hostage release deal expected anytime soon. In a statement to the Times of Israel, that official accused the U.S. of trying to oust Prime Minister Netanyahu, saying, quote, those who elect the Prime Minister of Israel are the citizens of Israel and no one else, adding, quote, Israel is not a protectorate of the U.S., but an independent and democratic country whose citizens are the ones who elect the government. We expect our friends to act to overthrow the terror regime of Hamas, not the elected government in Israel. Aryeh Lightstone served as senior advisor to U.S. Ambassador to Israel David Friedman during the Trump administration. He joins us now live to discuss all of this. Good morning, and thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Good morning, Josh. Nice to see you again.
All right, so I do want to get your initial thoughts here as we have this senior official in the Israeli government there providing this statement. We know there's been the comments by President Biden against Netanyahu. Netanyahu responded. I just want to get your overall take on all of this.
Well, play the game. Who would you say this about if it was not about Israel? Meaning, have you ever seen the Biden administration condemn Zelensky? Have you seen the Biden administration interfere in United Kingdom politics? Have we seen them interfere in French politics? And the answer is they have not. And then if you look at the opposite of that, have we seen them make these comments about Hamas or the Palestinian Authority or any of the other autocratic regimes that exist in the Middle East? And then you have to ask, whose side is the United States of America on? Our democratic ally Israel or the terror raping and beheading regime Hamas? And if it's not clear, the president is doing a bad job. And I'm here to tell you the president is doing a bad job.
Do you feel that there's any sort of shift, any sort of division between the U.S. and Israel now? Because right after October 7th, we know, the connection was there. There were a lot of comments that showed that the U.S. stood with Israel. Has anything changed over the past several months?
Well, it really changed on President Biden's visit, which was highly touted and was much appreciated. He showed up during the war, and he should be recognized for that. He sent aircraft carriers, and he should be recognized for that. But something that wasn't reported on was the PA, the Palestinian Authority, Egypt and Jordan refused to meet with him when he landed in Israel based upon that fake news story that spoke about Israel blowing up a hospital. Turns out the hospital wasn't blown up, and it wasn't Israel. But on that pretense, Jordan, Egypt, and the Palestinian Authority refused to meet with President Biden. And at that point in time, President Biden didn't slam his fist on the table and say, I am the president of the United States of America and the leader with the free will. If I call you to a meeting, you will show up. And when that did not happen, it evidenced enormous weakness. And all you've seen since that moment is continued weakness, because once President Biden decided that he couldn't get that group on his side, he was going to push Israel as far as humanly possible. And these calls for ceasefire, these calls for building a pier for Gaza, who's going to drive the trucks after they get off the pier, has just been a complete and total distancing of U.S. support for the state of Israel.
Do you think there's ever a time where the U.S. will actually have troops on the ground there in Gaza as the war does continue?
Ironically enough, under President Biden, that is certainly possible for reasons that make no sense. Israel has not asked for troops. Israel will not ask for troops. But essentially, in order to further complicate a complex military zone, President Biden may very well put U.S. troops on the ground, not to defeat Hamas and not to bring back American hostages who are still there, but rather to be able to stop our ally Israel of finishing the job of defeating this murderous regime, Hamas.
The last time I spoke with you, it was right after October 7th. You were speaking to me from essentially a bomb shelter at that point. What have the last several months been like in Israel since October 7th?
So, broad question. I can paint it with some strokes. Number one is, I think across the free world, there's been a concern about kids 18 to 35, that they live their lives like this and measure friends based upon, Instagram and likes based upon, a little heart on the screen. And if you look at the 18 to 40-year-olds in this country, my goodness, do you have a positive outlook on what the future looks like? Because they have sacrificed literally everything for the sake of their country and for the sake of their future. And what they've dedicated has been so enormous. The morale here is if you can be 105 out of 100, you would be at 105 out of 100, because from an Israeli perspective, there is no more moral or more just war than this one. And people are willing to do anything in order to ensure that Israel gets to that victory. At the same time, there's meaningful concern about the North. Just in this week, only on Wednesday, there have been over 250 rockets fired by Hezbollah at Israel in the North. That is simmering into what could turn into a second front of a meaningful and frankly nerve-wracking war, especially when you don't know where the United States of America is going to fall out in this particular battle.
When it comes to a possible ceasefire, there's, of course, the discussion of the importance of the release of the hostages. But specifically when it comes to a possible ceasefire, what are the thoughts from people within Israel?
Every single person in Israel is walking with two hearts. Heart number one says the number one priority is to bring the hostages home. That is the moral obligation of the state of Israel. And heart number two says it is the moral obligation of the state of Israel to make sure that Hamas cannot perpetrate this attack ever again. Now, those two do not walk parallel. They intersect, because Hamas knows that the only leverage that they have left in the world is the hostages, and they will hold on to them as best as humanly possible. It has been one of their arguments that they will not release the last hostage until they know that there is not a temporary ceasefire, but a permanent ceasefire and the evacuation of all Israeli troops from the Gaza area. I don't know how a government of Israel will be able to function and tell its people that we are protecting you, meaning the state of Israel is protecting the people of Israel, unless it finishes the job and eliminates Hamas from all of Gaza. Because if they don't finish the job and they don't eliminate Hamas from all of Gaza, whether it's 1 week later or 1 year later or 2 years later, this same thing will happen again. And it's reprehensible and tragic enough that it happened one time. A second time would be of epic proportions.
I want to talk a little bit more about Hezbollah. We were just discussing that.
Okay, so we're gonna stop it there, right?
Okay.
So let's go back to the top of the show there, what he was saying about Biden.
Okay.
All right. Now, did you hear how bad he was talking about Biden?
Yes.
What do you think?
When you say talking about Biden, you're talking about the guy that was being interviewed?
Yeah.
As he should. As he should. I would agree with it. He didn't speak it. Yeah. Not only was it weak,
but he was calling it weak because Biden is trying to distance himself from Israel simply because it's almost time for the International Court of Justice decision to come down about Israel committed genocide and violating international law in ways of force and right to self-determination and humanitarian aid. And Biden trying to distance himself from Israel at the last minute, 11th hour, to try to keep the United States from being named in this decision. But it's too late for that because the offering of the application for the decision included the name of the United States.
Yes.
Which is really dumb that Biden is trying to wiggle the United States way out of it when he put the United States in it. So this guy right here that was being interviewed, now that Biden trying to distance himself from the whole United States is, well, most of them are anyway. I would say 75% of them are, because I'm going to let you hear Chuck Schumer and coming up next. They try to distance themselves at the 11th hour because they know it's almost time for the International Court of Justice decision to come down with names the United States and the United Kingdom, Canada, and one more country as being complicit in their being an ally of Israel while they committed these crimes. Okay. So now they're trying to get themselves out at the 11th hour, and that's what this guy was talking about. Now that they are, they talking about Biden real bad.
Yeah, I mean, also it was I think it was a show of force on their end when they didn't show up for the meeting with him. That was a big slap in the face.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, anytime that you don't have that authority, oh man, oh yeah, that was just horrible.
So he was right in a way about Biden being weak. And we can all agree he's weak.
Right.
Whether you no matter which side you on, we all can agree that Biden is weak. Okay.
Right. But it's one thing to say that. It's another thing to show it. And they showed it. Yeah. It's a difference.
Check out what Chuck Schumer said today.
Okay.
The U.S. government should demand that Israel conduct itself with a future two-state solution in mind. We should not be forced into a position of unequivocally supporting the actions of an Israeli government that include bigots who reject the idea of a Palestinian state.
See how he's trying to wiggle the United States out of this. Listen, keep listening.
The U.S. government should demand that Israel conduct itself with a future two-state solution in mind. We should not be forced into a position of unequivocally supporting the actions of an Israeli government that include bigots who reject the idea of a Palestinian state. Israel is a democracy. 5 months into this conflict, it is clear that Israelis need to take stock of the situation and ask, must we change course? At this critical juncture, I believe a new election is the only way to allow for a healthy and open decision-making process about the future of Israel, at a time when so many Israelis have lost their confidence in the vision and direction of their government. I also believe a majority of the Israeli public will recognize the need for change, and I believe that holding a new election, once the war starts to wind down, would give Israelis an opportunity to express their vision for the post-war future. Of course, the United States cannot dictate the outcome of an election, nor should we try. That is for the Israeli public to decide. A public that I believe understands better than anybody that Israel cannot hope to succeed as a pariah opposed by the rest of the world.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your
All right. So that's what the dude was talking about when he said the United States trying to oust Prime Minister Netanyahu.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now you see what's going on between the love bugs.
Yeah. And I mean, like you stated, it's way too late for that. You know what I mean? We're in it. Now we're stuck in it. And let's be clear, people. This is our election year here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he waited too late to make this move. Way too late. It's so much damage that can't be undone that was supported by the United States. And as we should be named in it because he put us in it. And he bagged all those war crimes.
Yeah. And can't bring back the lives of neither the Israelites or the Palestinians.
True.
But you know, and see, the thing of it is what the other 150 countries of the United Nations is saying. It's because it's only three really, and that's the United States, that the biggies, that are bigger, the largest countries, that is United States, United Kingdom, and Canada. They are the only three out of the 153 countries that belong to the United Nations that that stood with Israel while these crimes was being committed. They kept vetoing the ceasefire. They kept vetoing it, and it could have happened. A ceasefire could have happened long ago, and because of that, this is where we are. And so now, but it's not just here, and the other 50 countries that are struggling, I should say, with what's going on because we don't like to see what has happened. The Israelites are protesting too. They're protesting. I saw a sign. They marching with signs in front of even Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's house, not let alone the courthouse. I mean the government house over there, with signs that say "Crime Minister," CRIME minister, and these are Jewish people that live right there in Tel Aviv and in the heart of Israel.
Yeah.
So he got some of his own people that are calling him crime minister.
Yeah. I mean, let's be clear. I love my country. I serve my country. I'm just much of a patriot as other patriots.
Right.
But let's be clear here. It's about accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And he backed these war crimes. And as we all know, war crimes has no statute of limitations.
That's true.
So therefore, you, sir, are guilty.
Mm-hmm.
As he should be.
Mm-hmm. What it serves, because it's two of them. Three of them, really. Because
Yeah.
you got King Charles over UK, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got Biden over US, and then you got I forget his name. Oh God, over Canada. Men, all men. So and then tell you, so you got these 4 horsemen that are guilty.
Yeah, it takes me back to a children's nursery rhyme. I mean, if John jumps off a bridge, are you going to jump off a bridge too? It's the blind leading the blind, and they will follow behind the U.S. And I mean, it's a crime. It's no way you can cover it up. You know what I mean? And to even try to cover it up is more of an insult.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now is the time for you to stand up and take accountability. You were wrong. We were dead wrong. And
Yeah, well, but here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
They did say they was wrong with the Iraq war, 20 years after?
Yeah.
So
Weapons of mass
it
destruction.
won't be Biden that says that the United States was wrong.
Mm-mm.
It might not even be Trump.
Mm-mm.
It'll be somewhere down the line before a president will say, yeah, we made a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, like I stated earlier, it's an election year here, right? He just gave his State of the Union speech. Okay, so now you're trying to clean up. It's too late. It's too much damage that's been done.
Mm-hmm.
We know it. They know it. Everybody know it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well,
they can't hide it. That's the thing about it. They can't hide it like that. We can see. We can see.
Yeah. Well, the media has been hiding it for 5.5 months. For 5 months, but now in this last 2 to 3 weeks, more footage has been pushing its way through because I know they still got guards at the gate on national media here.
Yeah.
And on these platforms, but it's getting pushed through because the truth is gonna it's gonna come through. The truth always wins.
Absolutely.
And what's done in the dark is gonna always come to light.
It's true.
And this is what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say this because I had cut off my thought. I was what is it? My brain was going faster than I could talk.
Right.
But I was talking about the other 150 countries and me myself included. What I was trying to point out is what we are seeing is this. Yes, Israel had a right to go after Hamas after they did what they did. They killed 1,200, let's just say 1,300 to round it off. And then they had 300 hostages. Let's just say that. So let's say around 1,700 people is what they killed, right? Or, and less the hostages that they have. All right. But what me and the other 150 other countries are saying is this. Yeah, you had a right to go and get revenge for that, but you were only supposed to kill 1,600 or 1,700 people.
Yeah, eye for an eye.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if Hamas wasn't in that 1,600 or 1,700 that you killed, then you were supposed to leave that alone and move on because that was even Stephen.
Right.
But no, you have slaughtered, massacred over 100,000 injured. That's injured. Over 100,000 under the rubble, not even discovered. Up to almost 35,000 dead adults, and these are just rough numbers. And over 17,000 children killed. That's disproportionate. That is completely disproportionate. Not only that, you starved them to death. All right. And in that starvation period, when the aid trucks, you blocked the aid trucks so they couldn't get food. And then when the pressure started coming, these just before Christmas, uh, the aid trucks really just start trying to let them in, so they claim, really within the last 2 weeks, because they know that International Justice Court decision is coming, and I just wanted to come on faster because they're taking a little bit too long for me.
Yeah.
They shot the people that was running to the aid trucks out of desperation to try to get food off the trucks. Yeah, crowds of people are running to the truck. They glad to see the truck with food. They wasn't trying to hurt nobody.
It's a decoy.
They didn't even have weapons. And so the tanks, Israel had its tanks with soldiers on the ground. They lied at first and said wasn't no tanks on the ground. They didn't have no soldiers around the trucks. Then when the pictures came out, they had to say that they were there, but they thought they were in danger. How you thought you in danger and you in an iron truck, an iron tank, and you shooting with a big old gun?
Yeah.
They killed 180 people, shot them to death just because they were trying to run to the truck to get food. They were trying to get food off of the trucks.
Yeah. I don't condone it in any shape, form, or fashion. But what we have to realize, and it's very ugly, when you're dealing with a criminal. Unfortunately, we don't get the privilege of telling a criminal how to be a criminal. It breaks.
You're right about that.
It basically boils down to good and evil. Yeah. You can't say, well, he's a little evil. No, you either good or you're bad.
You're a little evil. He's all the way evil. Yeah.
So you either good or you're evil.
Well, I told them from the very beginning, when it's about the middle of October, I tried to tell everybody this is the Antichrist.
Yeah.
He's one of them. Now, it's several. It's been several. It's been several of them down through history.
Yeah,
but
he's
this
the third
is the Antichrist of 2023 and 24, okay?
Yeah. If I'm not,
Netanyahu, yes, I called you that.
Yeah.
Now come and get me. Come and shoot me because I called you that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's number 3 according to the writings. What was it? It was Hitler and Napoleon.
Napoleon first, then Hitler.
And now him.
All right. And blood has been shed in Israel, and the scripture says that once blood is shed in Israel from war, that's when Jesus is coming back.
Yeah.
And he's coming back with a vengeance.
That's what it
and
says.
Benjamin Netanyahu, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes because he might be coming in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Joe Biden, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes.
Oh,
he might be coming in the next few weeks.
You're right.
Anthony Blinken, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. These 3 B's, their names start with a B. I wouldn't want to be in your shoes because Jesus might be coming.
Yeah, and there's blood on their hands.
B's for blood. Blood has been shed in Israel. Scripture says once that's done, that's when Christ is coming back again.
Yeah.
How will he come? We don't know.
We don't know the day nor the hour.
Well, the scriptures say once blood is shed in Israel.
That's it.
Blood has not been shed in Israel since what? Well, it never been shed because they came over here and stole country. They stole land.
Yeah.
And no blood has been shed in Israel. This is what they call their state of Israel. No war.
It's coming. But it's coming.
Well, it already has because Hezbollah has, Hamas shed the blood first. Hezbollah is still sending rockets and missiles or whatever. And they have a few hits. They've killed a few. And, so blood has been shed now.
Yeah. Definitely has.
That's when the Bible says that Jesus is coming. When he comes, he's bringing with him his war angels.
Yeah.
That's why I say I would not want to be an Israelite because when he comes, he's taking vengeance
Yeah.
on the Israelites, not on nobody else, because Israel was not supposed to be a criminal to shed that much blood. They took control of the Gaza Strip. They took control of East Jerusalem. They took
Right.
control of West Jerusalem. So that's Israel.
That's right.
And so this man has shed the blood of all of those numbers of people. And believe it or not, some Palestinians are and were Jewish. Some that he killed.
Yeah.
But some of those Palestinians were Jewish, right?
Yeah.
So Netanyahu broke the script. He's bringing the scripture to life. He's bringing the Christ. So, but they don't believe in Jesus Christ. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Jews don't. The Jewish religion, Jews don't believe in Jesus Christ.
No.
So I guess that's why Netanyahu say, well, he'll shed all the blood he wants to shed because there ain't no such thing as Jesus Christ anyway. They only believe. They only believe in the Old Testament. That's all they believe in.
That's true.
That's so true. I guess he say he'll take his chances. Well, we gonna see, Nit. We gonna see, Nit. All right, love. That was really good. Love, we thank y'all so much for staying with us. 54 was this with us and dropped down now to 49, but we thank y'all for staying with us so much.
Yes.
I know some of you like what we talk about, some of you don't. But you know how to fit the switch. That's all I always say. And for those of you that like a switch, go clockwise and come on back with us.
Come on
now,
back.
Tomorrow night, we're having a birthday party.
Yeah.
For one of our viewers,
Thanks.
fans from the UK. And we're also going to do a little St. Patrick's celebration too. All right.
All right.
And I got a song that I wrote. Y'all don't want to miss hearing that. All right. I think it was Rowan or Jack. One of them sent me an email and told me it was Thomas's birthday coming up, and would we do a special show for him for his birthday? And would I do a song? And I said yes, I would. So everything's lined up and ready.
Right.
I mean, I was up at the crack of dawn at 5 o'clock yesterday morning, putting this song together, and up again this morning at 6. And I've spent several hours on this. And I'll tell you one thing, Rowan, Jack, tell Thomas he better show up in the comment column. All right, y'all. That's our time. We love y'all so much. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Yes.
See y'all tomorrow night. Bye.
Bye.